about 5 inches or so.
Right here.
Ma'am, do you recall telling any law enforcement officer anything about James Wood and Tony Howard, ma'am?
I remember telling a law enforcement officer how I felt.
Did you tell us about that, please, ma'am?
When I was talking to the law enforcement officer, I told him that I felt that you were telling the truth about Tony beating you up because he had beat me up. And that's what I felt.
Do you recall telling law enforcement officer that you overheard Officer Howard and his dad in the car shop bragging about beating me in the jail?
I didn't hear him specifically say you, but when he worked at the jail, I would hear stories about incidences of, jacking some of the inmates up.
Is it possible that you said it and you got it like?
It's possible. It's been a while.
Do you recall having a live interview with GBI agents?
Yes.
Oh, let me back up a little bit. Do you recall calling the police one day and you telling the officer that you know the truth about Jamie and Tony? You're going to go to the news about it.
Okay, you're gonna have to repeat that. I'm sorry.
Do you recall telling the officer at the car next to you, for whatever reason, I'm not asking you why you called him up there. I'm not getting to that. But do you recall telling this officer, I know the truth about Tony and Jackie on the road in Fox 5, I know what really happened. Do you recall that?
I don't remember it.
Is it possible it's been so long, you've been through so much, you forgot it, ma'am?
It's possible.
Okay. Do you recall the GBI giving you a live interview at some time and you talking about Jamie and Tony had to jack him up and they were laughing about it at the shop?
Yes, I did talk with the GBI live.
And do you remember that being recorded at the time?
I thought it was audio recorded. I'm not sure.
But you have some form of thought about it being recorded, ma'am.
Some type of recording.
Okay. Do you recall stating that Tony been here the hero and not by me? Because I think that history Jamie and Tony had caused Buddy Christian in life. Do you recall that, ma'am?
You have to repeat yourself. I'm sorry.
Do you recall? Oh, okay. Okay.
Let's
Do you recall doing that interview with the GBI that you told the agent Tony have been held a hero, but not by me? Because I think the history that Tony and Jamie had cost Buddy Christian his life.
Gonna have to break that down. I do remember saying that he's been held a hero, and that I didn't think he was. I did say that in some kind of form, not verbatim. Other part of your question, you don't have to repeat it. I'm nervous.
After that, do you recall that you stated, I think in history, Tony had with Jamie cost Buddy Christian his life?
I don't remember that, and it doesn't sound like anything I would say.
Is
I don't remember it.
it possible you said in the video? Do you want me to refresh your memory on the video, or is it possible that you said you can't remember?
It's very possible. I could have said it.
Okay. Would it help to view that portion of the video to Here, refresh your memory.
I guess so.
Next, you do that.
Yes, sir.
No objection. Audio.
It's all the other.
Video too. It's audio and video together. This thing kind of off a little bit. That's why I'm doing it like that. The time is kind of off a little bit. I think this will get it together.
It may be here, and all of a sudden it's requiring password online. Okay, I'm glad we got it. Sure, you don't.
My very first thought that I wrote was, Holly's been held a hero, but not by me. I feel like whatever history he and Jamie Hood had, it cost many Christians life. And that's just my opinion.
y'all got this video on, y'all refresh her memory about it, jacking up hard, maybe that the person never because she did it home. Refresh your memory on the question that I earlier asked you, ma'am.
Excuse me, I was wondering if you could replay that one for it, because I'm not sure if I said him or them.
Before that, you was talking about Jamie, wouldn't you? That's why it was Jamie, when you agreed that you were talking about.
That's a legal question, I would object to the judge. Play for it.
Okay. Before we got to that part, it wasn't the conversation about Jamie, wasn't the
same question, it's a legal question.
Okay. Did the GBI come to investigate you about Jamie Hood and Tony Howard?
Yes.
Okay, now do you think that this interview recording was based on Jamie Hood and Tony Howard? Now, would you know that the interview was based on Jamie Hood? Were they there to talk to you about any other inmates at the jail, or were they there to talk to you about Jamie Hood?
Here to talk about Jamie Hood, but I did go off on the subject a couple of times.
Okay. So,
I understand.
do you think that you were talking about Jamie Hood, you got it because the interview was about Jamie Hood, ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, do you recall having a conversation about Tony and the weed and seed, and how he'll come tell about when a drug bus coming, he'll tell people in the house they got a drug bus coming? Do you recall that, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall telling that Tony Howard beat you, and he beat you? Could you tell us about that?
Well, it was in 1991, year after I was married to his father, and I came to the shop that my husband owned, and I had just had some dental work done. I'm not sure what led up to it, but I had asked his daddy to, help me with the bill. Like I said, we were married. Tony came in and we were having an argument, and Tony just intervened and slammed me to the ground. Slammed me to the floor inside the shop.
I'm Kid Malden. I have a number of questions for you if I can. First of all, let me ask you, you've been subpoenaed for how long on this particular case?
I think it was in May.
In May?
I think so.
Is that correct?
Yes.
So you got a subpoena that you might be a witness in the case for the defendant. Is that correct?
Yes.
And do you understand this matter has been broadcast live on the internet? Is that correct? You got to speak up, man. If you would.
Yes.
Okay. And you understand there basically that that testimony of witness is going to be seen on YouTube, isn't that correct?
Yes.
And you've been watching the case on the internet and on YouTube, have you not?
Off and on.
Yeah, I'm saying, what relevance do it have to have what she told the agents, what she did in trial? We're not here about the trial. We're here to talk about the allegation that was made.
You understand, ma'am, in fact, as I understand, you've made a lot of different posts.
I'm sorry?
As I understand, you've made a lot of different posts via Facebook or the internet about this case all along the way, commenting on different things that were going on during the trial, isn't that correct?
Not commenting on the trial. I can remember. I know I'm on Facebook a lot.
Yes. And you've made comments on Facebook about this case, have you not?
Just on Facebook. Just telling my friends that I was going to have to be in court to testify.
And in fact,
I can't speculation because there's no guarantee who was on her Facebook. How could he say who was making those posts? They might have been on her Facebook. She might have had a little one. Somebody got a code. He wasn't up.
I was asking about her post. In fact, you've made comments as well on Classic City today on the internet on posts, have you not?
A couple of comments.
Well, it was more than a couple, wasn't it, Ms. Allen? Am I correct? Pretty regular since the trial's been going on, have you not? In all fairness?
Maybe 3 or 4. I don't think it's about many.
In fact, there was one where somebody posted, is there an option to view earlier testimony? Would like to see what happened while at work, and you responded, you can Google Jamie Hood trial videos and see prior testimonies on previous days, isn't that correct? And you had another post, you can go to YouTube and pull up videos on previous testimonies, isn't that correct? And in fact, at one time on July the 10th, whereas the trial today was a question and you responded, they had a juror with a migraine at the start, so it was no court for a while, right?
That's what I heard.
And and there are other times that you've commented on your Facebook page as well as on that Classic City today, so you've been following that pretty regular, isn't that right?
I follow it when I can.
Yes, ma'am. And you've watched it live and had people testify, right?
Yes. But not every day.
Did you see Tony Howard testify?
No.
And but you watched other witnesses that testified during the trial, correct?
Off and on during the day, I would check in on it.
And you're married to Clarence Howard, is that correct?
Yeah.
And y'all been married how long now?
25 years.
I'm sorry?
25
I
years.
just be line of question. This is a public trial. Anybody can watch this trial who they please. This is a public trial. So if she chooses to watch this public trial, that's her right to do that. That don't mean that she discredited from watching the trial. Okay.
Thank you. And, ma'am, let me, and right now, you're back with Clarence Howard, is that correct?
We live in the same house, but we're not back together. Separated for 13 years.
You've been separated for 13 years, is that correct? Now, this interview that was conducted here, that was in the Thompson office of the GBI, wasn't that correct?
Yes.
The one you just watched a portion of, the defendant played, wasn't that correct?
Yes.
And that was after you'd moved to Augusta, I guess, to live with your son for a period of time, is that right?
I was staying with my daughter, and well, my
Your
son
daughter.
lives in that area also, so.
Okay. And you reluctantly agreed to meet with them to basically talk about what happened, is that right?
I'm sorry.
You reluctantly agreed to meet with them with this interview, isn't that correct?
I wasn't reluctant about it. I didn't really want to, but
That's right. Now, it all stemmed from what happened on May 30th, 2013 at Clarence Howard's body shop, Howard Body and Paint, isn't that correct?
yes.
And you went over there at that time to basically get some money from Clarence Howard, about $2,000, is that what it was?
Well, Clarence, I call him Howard, but Clarence, my husband, I loaned him $2,000. He promised to pay me back.
Okay. Well, you went over to get that, isn't that right? So
no,
you could go to Augusta?
no. I came home to check on my animals and take care of them for a day or two. And I would do that every other week, sometimes every week. So I came to the shop to we had made an agreement that he would give me so much money a week to help me out.
You went over there, that's what my point, you went over there to get money
get
from
money.
Clarence Howard, your husband, isn't that correct?
Yes.
And
I have a objection for the record on this. We give the sequestration. So if we give the sequestration while we talking about Clarence Howard and what happened that day, that's credibility for the jury to determine. We have a sequestration. So in sequestration, it said the purpose of the rule of sequestration is to prevent a witness who has not testified or who has not completed his or her testimony from overhear and having his or her testimony affected by the testimony of another witness. See, you just said we give a sequestration. What Clarence Howard she did, they don't retain the sequestration.
I was telling you that's what this question was about.
Okay, I thought you were saying the whole thing. Okay.
at that time, you became upset with him because he didn't give you the money that you thought you wanted, isn't that right?
Yes.
At that time, you wound up basically calling the police on him, isn't that correct?
That is correct, but there's a missing link there. He got on the phone and pretended to call the police on me. So, called the police on him because we both had disagreements.
Okay. And you wound up saying that basically he had scratched you and hurt you and tore your clothing, isn't that correct?
Yeah.
And that wasn't true, was it?
No, that was true.
You didn't scratch yourself and tear your own clothing, ma'am?
And he pushed me, and I was up in his face. Definitely in his face.
Did you have to call the police? I'm sorry, go ahead.
He pushed me. I don't know if he did it on purpose, but he scratched my neck, and as he scratched my neck, I had a rag t-shirt on anyway because I'd been taking care of my animal, and he tore my shirt.
And ma'am, you're telling us right here and now that you didn't scratch yourself and tore your own shirt before the police got there?
No.
And did you wind up saying at some point that, you know, Tony, you need to tell your father to give me that money, otherwise I'm going to call the media, I'm going to call Fox 5? Didn't you wind up making that comment?
I've made that comment many a times to his daddy, because his daddy is always using Tony against us, in our marriage.
And you've made that many a time since all this happened in 2011, isn't that right?
Yes, I threatened his father with it.
You threatened his father to call the media and call Fox 5 and say whatever, isn't that right?
No, not say whatever, but say the truth.
And it was in part of all that that you basically made these statements about.
We let them go by so we can get it right here.
Ma'am, after the police were called, all this is referred to the GBI to do an independent investigation, isn't that correct? About what happened there at Howard's Body Shop, isn't that right?
Yes,
And that was after you made certain statements about Tony Howard, isn't that right?
yes,
And your interview down there at Thompson had to do with the GBI investigating what may have happened between you and Clarence Howard and the statements you made, isn't that correct? That's what that was about, right?
I'm just still in misleading. They was, just, can I be heard?
What's your objection? Tell me what the objection is.
This is misleading because the GBI did not go to Thompson to investigate her by lying.
That's-
They,
The objection is misleading. Respond to your objection.
Not misleading, I have her on cross and I'm asking that specific question.
it's misleading because the GBI did not come and investigate her according to Jamie Hood, her and Clarence. Jack Lumpkin got rid of the dog
No,
because.
that's a speaking
Can I
objection, I would
please
object to.
Rule the objection. Answer properly.
Just one second, let me ask you the question. When they went down there, they were investigating the whole thing involved what happened on May 30th and the statements that you made about Clarence Howard and Tony Howard, isn't that right?
They asked me questions about what I said about Tony.
But they also
And they
asked you about
didn't.
what happened with Clarence, isn't that right?
I think they brought it up. They didn't make a lot of emphasis on it. I wanted him arrested, and that never happened.
And, but that was the context of all this being said. Wasn't any statements about Tony, it was the context of all this stuff of what you said about Clarence Howard, isn't that right?
My understanding, I was there because of what I said about Tony, saying about Mr. Hood.
Now, earlier when that first clip that the defendant played, he said whatever history he and Jamie Hood had cost Buddy Christian's life, just your opinion. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
You never witnessed anything at all, did you?
Nope.
So you didn't have any personal knowledge of anything that may or may not have happened between Tony Howard and Jamie Hood. Isn't that correct?
No.
And when you indicated on direct here that Tony had made a statement about jacking somebody up, you're not saying that he was making a statement about jacking Jamie Hood up, were you?
No, that's why I can back up a minute. Will allow me to back up.
Go ahead.
When I was telling the police, I said, I believe Jamie Hood was beat up by Tony because he beat me up. Speaking of Tony. Then with the meeting with the GBI, I never heard of Jamie Hood until after the shooting. But Tony and other deputies would joke around and laugh about jacking inmates up. So I really, truly believe what Jamie Hood said.
What you just said, until after the shooting, you've never heard Jamie Hood's name, have you? Is that correct?
That's correct.
And what you've indicated that may have happened between you and Tony Howard was a matter where you and Clarence Howard were having some disagreement about money. Isn't that correct? About him paying some dental bill? Isn't that right?
1991.
And
Yes.
y'all were having a pretty heated argument. Is that correct?
That's,
And at that time, Tony Howard came home. Isn't that right?
it was at the body shop.
At the body shop. And at that time, you said that Tony may have done something to you. Isn't that correct?
He did.
Okay. But, I won't go into the specifics of this time, but that was, according to you, was around 1991 or so. That's what you're suggesting? It wasn't any time earlier than that at all.
No.
And at that time, Tony Howard was not employed with any police department or anything like that, was he?
Tell me about the simple lunch, just a moment, that's transportation.
At that time, Tony Howard was not. Tony Howard was a young man and was not employed with law enforcement anywhere, was he?
No. No.
And you took it to mean that he was basically taking up for his dad at the time he saw this argument between you and him. Isn't that right?
I guess he was taking up for his daddy.
The bottom line, you've never heard a statement about Tony Howard jacking up Jamie Hood, correct?
No, not verbatim one. No.
You've never heard Jamie Hood prior to the shooting.
No.
And any statements that came out about that were a result of this incident that happened on May 30th and what may or may not have happened there at the body shop on that day when you went over there to get money. Isn't that right? Is that correct? These statements about weed and seed, I mean, you said that Tony made some statements about weed and seed according to you? And that's when you made those statements as part of this investigation too?
I don't remember, but evidently I did. I mean, I can't recall now, but evidently I did.
And you're implying that Tony made some statements about drug bust or giving people prior knowledge of drug bust? Is that what you're trying to say?
Would give his daddy prior knowledge, and I would be sitting right there listening to it.
You would give his dad prior knowledge. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
So that's what you were talking about. Well, that's not information that he would be given prior knowledge to drug dealers, would it?
I'm just speculation. Someone knows he in the drug.
So basically what you're talking about is that you're saying that Tony may have told his dad about some drug busts that happened. Is that correct?
No, he would tell about drug busts that were going to take place the next day.
He'd be telling his dad.
Yeah.
And you never heard him talk about telling anybody else, right?
Well, if you tell my husband anything, everybody he comes in contact knows it. He can't keep it to himself.
Well, you're not implying that Tony Howard told anybody else other than Clarence Howard.
Not that I know of.
And he never made a statement that I basically said anything about drug busts to drug dealers. Correct?
I'm sorry?
I'll strike that. Just 1 second. all I have of
That's what I'm trying to do, but to help us all out, what I would do, even on this island, what I have is, the GBI report, and it clearly state that the debt, we're talking about,
Don't tell me what the report states. I'm not,
it was just like
there may be
James.
something else we can take up, but right now, I'm just trying to.
I'm just trying to sort of time for you, that's all I'm trying to say.
Sometimes we just sleep it up, so.
Okay.
Just
What's
what
what I like?
other questions do you have?
Well, I had some question for her about Jamie Hood. I can play this tape and then see about Jamie Hood. I can refresh her memory on, that's what I was trying to prevent is here. I was just trying to, hey, just speed it up for everybody, but what it looked like I'm gonna have to do is refresh her memory, just play. Maybe up to the 24-minute part. Now, I was trying my best to avoid that. I need to snoop out that Mr. Lumpkin, them got the GBI to come investigate it because the Clark County couldn't handle it because this was about Jamie Hood. That's why they call it GBI now. I can call in Jackie Lumpkin and he'll tell you I got the reports about it. It's about the officer Jamie Hood. Clark County could have handled it. They could have handled Miss Aileen Howard and Clarence Howard. But the reason GBI was called in because it was pertaining to come in pertaining to Jamie Hood. So it
Actually, I would object to this kind of argument. I think we need to ask questions that we're not. Well, that's where we were before we started talking.
Yeah, I'm not sure that, this is not your examination
Yeah,
of this
exactly.
witness. This is for a limited purpose. So I'm not sure that what you're talking about now is anything that needs to be taken up.
I fully understand. But my problem is, hey, I don't know if I was talking about Jamie when he jacked him up. I can play this tape. But I was trying to just, hey, be nice and hey, well, we have to play it when he knows it was about Jamie Hood at the end of the day. I got it all over the report. The GBI even about Jamie Hood getting beat. Why fish around when we know what we need?
There's any other questions? This is one of this issue.
Okay, I understand. Ms. Howard. Is it possible that you just forgot? Hey, I was talking about Jamie Hood when I heard Officer Howard refer me to jack him up. Is it possible that you said it and you just forgot?
It is possible.
No further questions?
Well, yes. As part of all this investigation, did you basically claim that folks had perjured themselves in pre-trial hearings on this case? Did you indicate that?
I just to get into another matter. Now, I could bring that up, but I was trying to be nice about the Judge Stevens perjuring himself. Hey, I didn't want to bring it up by Tony and Judge Stevens on perjuring themselves. I was trying to be nice and not bring it up.
What's your objection?
It's relevant. Then you take, we was here about Tony Howard. That's what you told me. That's why I asked questions about the judge. I was trying to keep it out. But hey, if you want to bring it up, fine with me.
Context for making those statements is certainly very important. Other allegations she was making at that time, wild allegations she was making.
I'll approve the objection.
Did you make an allegation that Walter Stevens did perjure himself in pre-trial hearings in this case at the same time you were making all these statements on May 30th, 2013? Is that correct?
Yes.
She stepped down.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Did you have something?
I would just close it.
Let it go outside. Let me be clear, you're still a witness in this case. I'm just asking you to step down.
Structure based is not talking more than anybody else is out.
You cannot discuss the view. You are subject to the rules of sequestration. You cannot discuss your testimony with anyone or allow anyone to discuss their testimony with you. And that would include watching testimony.
Jamie Hood's name until after 2011, is what she indicated there. And that statement was not one in circumstance according to what she had now. Now, obviously, she said that, and there are prior statements where she said, particularly Tony Howard talked about jacking up Jamie Hood. There was that event, those prior statements, the wife would come in under those circumstances. I understand. But in this instance, that's what she indicated. As far as anything about we see, none of that is contradictory to the questions that were asked of Tony Howard, where he basically implied that he was giving information to drug dealers in that regard. There's nothing at all that rebuts it. That was his question about Tony. Didn't you basically tell drug dealers? Didn't you tell them about this and give them this? That is not at all the context of what you gave here in this instance. In addition, Judge, anything about what she said was happening in 91. As I understood, it happened before that. Given the fact that the allegations she may have made to Tony Howard, a young man, as a outside law enforcement, is not in any way admissible under that 24-4, 404B and 405 in that regard. It had to be acts in fact the defendant himself would have been aware of, I think, before he could be supposed to be admissible. So I would object to her basically saying all of that. Basically what you have is somebody who wanted money from Clarence Howard. Who did feel she got the money, and I'm saying, I'm going to basically, go to the media and do whatever and say whatever. Which is what she did. Our witnesses will have folks come in here. The context of all those statements being made, and other wild allegations she made goes to the credibility of the context of any statements like this that were made in that regard. It should all come in order to try to show basis where she's coming from like that. We are witnesses basically two folks who said she scratched herself and tore her own clothing at that time before she called the police. Really was just a complete fabrication, all of that matter. But certainly as far as those other matters about we can see about this history, about the incident, what she said was 91, none of that should come in under the rules of Athens, particularly 24-4, 404, and 24-4, 405.
Young, I have clear evidence. We all know. She was talking about Jamie Hood, referring to Jackie Monk. They didn't go investigate her on the interview of all inmates in Clark County Jail. They weren't talking about Jamie Hood. I have it, it's all over. I was being nice, like not playing the whole thing. After Tony Howard was not on trial for what he done to inmates, he on trial for Jamie Hood. I just want to hear Tony Howard and Jamie Hood. For him to come in here and make an allegation of she don't know what we were talking about, that's just a mockery of justice. And I have the agents out there ready to testify. I have Mr. Monk to show, hey, this is why we call it GBIA, because it's Jamie Hood.
About the disability based on whether or not it's allowed to rebut what Tony Howard said.
I asked Tony Howard, did he beat me? No. She come in here, he bragged about it in the shop. That's what come in there, hey, did you beat me? Like, no, I don't recall him knowing you, I ain't done that to you. Yeah, you bragging about the shop. You bragging about that shop. And that goes to my state of mind again. He cold, let me get away from him. I've been telling him, hey. And there's a lot of stuff that I could have said, but I didn't say it, because I ain't trying to hurt nobody. He just like to bring up the judge. I could have gotten Tony Howard credibility. They can sit here doing the judge accusing here. Well, who knows long Steve? The ladies that they done been at lunch together, he had the car shop with him and all that stuff. I'm just not trying to be nice. That's why I'm like, hey, you want to say this? Because that'll make the judge look bad, the daddy look bad, and all of them look bad. Y'all gonna get up there talking about y'all don't know each other just to get me when you out here lying. Y'all been on each other. He was their lawyer one time. They eat together, they shop together. I could have gotten to his credibility. It don't matter, bad enough. heard everybody, Judge. Hey, I'm just here for the truth. We all want something with it. And for the credibility, he the one putting them a lay house up there telling lie, he know they lying. So what do you want to talk about credibility for?
That's all the question I need to talk about this now, which I will do over lunch. We'll break for lunch, be back at 1:30.
I was gonna state one thing about the statement, Judge, if in fact, she said, right or wrong, that Tony Howard made a statement that Jack and Jason Hood, frankly, that ought to come in. We'll basically have to address it, like that. The other matters, as far as we can see, but those are the matters that I think are significant, as far as, but not otherwise, I think 91, not moving. Or that statement, I understand, that may, we'll have to address it. The context of those statements being made will be one that will be subject to go into whether or not those are correct statements.
How about this? Okay, I think he's right about the Rule 404, what he did to her. I think he's right about that, because it had no relevance to Jamie Hood. And I think I did, because I didn't know about it, I'd be lying to you. So I think he might be right about that. But if we can see, I know a lot of stuff Judge ain't even talked about. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Hey, don't you know the Dawn Brook and King County? As you been telling these little boys when the police come, that's how we stay out there, Judge. I know some folks right now. I ain't gonna talk about it. I tell you to stay out there and then get caught sitting on those fights. Don't you come to town. But I ain't here to hurt nobody. Talking nobody that we can see. He knows you're doing it, kid. He gonna get up there, oh, I don't know, but that's what I asked him, because I already know. But Jay ain't trying to hurt nobody. Tell on everybody.
All right. Back at 1:30.
Thank you.
All right, you ready to call your next witness?
I'd like to call this evening position out.
Yes. Amy Bishop Howard?
What are you employed, ma'am?
No.
What do you do for a living, ma'am?
Nothing right now. I used to work and I was in a car accident and I'm disabled.
Did you know Officer Tony Howard?
Yes.
Would you tell us how you know Mr. Officer Tony Howard?
I'm married to his father.
Do you recall how you got involved in this case pertaining to Officer Howard and defendant Jamie Hood?
Now, that's they call for a narrative. You need to ask those different questions.
Did you call law enforcement pertaining to Officer Howard that led you being involved in this case?
Called law enforcement pertaining to Officer Howard's father.
During the time that you talked to your officer about Jamie Hood and Tony Howard?
Yes.
Tell us about the Jamie Hood and Tony Howard part.
When I was speaking with the officer, I was very upset, and I mentioned to the officer that I believed you
Hood and Tony Howard.
Yes.
Okay, could you tell us about Jamie Hood and Tony Howard, part of the interview?
Part of the interview was, about, did I know anything about Tony beating you up in jail?
Do you recall what you told the officer about Tony Howard beating Jamie up in jail?
What I recall is that he worked for the sheriff's department, and I heard them talking about
Were they at the shop? Was they at his daddy's shop when you overheard that conversation?
yes, everything took place at the shop.
Okay. When you said they thought it was funny, what was funny about them jacking Jamie up? What was funny about that?
The objection was that there's no evidence about fighting.
Okay, I thought that you said it was on. What, ma'am, do you recall specifically what you told them about Jamie, Tony jacking up Jamie?
I'm not sure I think it was my own words more than them saying specifically you. But when they did discuss it, it wouldn't burst out until after. Like I said, that was before shootings. And afterwards, I can't remember, him explicitly saying your name.
But do you recall the interview being about Jamie Hood?
Yes, it was.
They didn't interview you about other inmates, did they?
That's a lead question.
Was it basically your interview pertaining to other inmates or was it pertaining to Jamie Hood?
Pertaining to Jamie Hood.
So during this interview, you heard them talking about Jamie jacking somebody up, and the interview was based on Jamie Hood.
That's a lead question. Did anybody force you to say what you said? Did anybody threaten you in any way to make your comments to the GBI today, man?
No.
Before? Was there any other comments about Jamie?
That's a misleading question, because you didn't say that.
Well, no further question.
Howard, if I may, as I understand, you don't ever remember hearing the name Jamie Hood until after 2011, after the shooting. Isn't that correct?
Right. That's correct.
All right. And you've been married to Clarence Howard, what, 25 years at least?
5 years.
And you are currently separated from him for the last, what, how many years now?
13 years.
Is that right? And Tony Howard's your stepson, is that correct? Is that right?
You want to put it in that terms.
Okay. And ma'am, prior to today, you had been subpoenaed as a witness in this case, isn't that right?
Yes.
Okay. And However, even though you've been subpoenaed as a witness back some time ago, like last spring, you've been watching this case live on TV, isn't that correct? On the internet, I mean, isn't that right?
That's irrelevant to Jamie Goodman. What she watching, I thought we were here talking about the issue.
Objections, relevance.
It's relevant because it goes to violation of the rule of sequestration, Judge. That's what it goes, as far as witnesses were sequestered.
All of the objection.
In fact, ma'am, as I understand, you've been watching fairly regular on TV, on the internet, and perhaps pulling up testimony of folks on YouTube, isn't that correct? On occasion throughout this trial, isn't that right?
On occasion,
Yes, sir.
not regularly.
Well, it's been somewhat frequent, has it not? Almost every day, wouldn't that be fair to say?
That's speculation he made. The young song, I know.
Isn't that fair to say, ma'am?
No, not really, because I'm busy with other things, so I wouldn't say it's frequently, just every now and then.
Sure. Some of the things you've been busy with are, you've been making posts about this case on the internet as well, too, right? On your Facebook as well as on the internet, correct?
I did make a couple posts on Facebook.
And some of the posts you made on Facebook were deleted after that, were they not?
I deleted them.
And you deleted those, correct?
Yes, I did.
Because you didn't want anybody to see those anymore?
No, I was just clearing my page out.
And ma'am, as far as this, where all this originally came up, really had to do with May 30th, 2013. Isn't that correct?
Yes,
And you were over at Howard's Body Shop off Broad Street. Isn't that correct?
yes, sir.
And according to you had loaned your husband $2,000, right?
Yes,
And you were over there to get that money or part of that money back. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, I'm dead. Now, he said I couldn't get into these about what he talking about.
No, that's
It's
not-
got no relevance to Jamie Hood.
That's different.
And at that time, ma'am, did you not, at that point, went over there to talk to your husband about getting that money back because you were going to Augusta, or you'd come back from Augusta and were going back down there, right?
well, I wasn't really asking $2,000 back. He had agreed that he would give me some help every week until I got on my feet. He hasn't paid $2,000 back to me yet, so
But you were going over there to collect the money, isn't that correct?
collect some money, yes,
And y'all got into an argument about that, isn't that right?
yes,
And as part of all that, according to you, he wound up saying he was going to call the police, isn't that correct?
yes,
And he got on the phone as if he was calling the police, isn't that right?
yes,
And you found out he may not have been calling the police, you decided to call the police, isn't that correct?
well, I called the police after we had a little scuffle.
Yeah. Well, in all that, before the police arrived, didn't you scratch yourself and tear your clothing, isn't that correct, ma'am?
No, that's not correct.
You deny doing that, is that right?
I did not do that. He did.
And as part of all that, you basically indicated to the police or others that unless you got your money, you were going to go tell the media about stuff. Isn't that correct?
I don't think I put it like that.
Well,
I
you
just
did.
wanted my money, some money, but on many occasions I threatened to call the media.
That's right. And on this occasion, you did that too, unless you were paid the money that you thought you deserved. Isn't that right?
I don't remember that.
Well, don't you remember saying something to the fact that if you went ahead and paid the money, you would call the media? Isn't that what you said? Something to that effect?
You're speaking of that day?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't remember that, because I've said it many times. I've threatened to call the media.
Yes, ma'am. In fact, you said something about Fox 5 there, did you not? There at Howard Body Shop on May 30, 2013, didn't you say that?
I may have, yes.
That's right. So you were called.
Yes. Yes, I did.
You recall that right now? Is that right?
Yes, I did. Because of everything that was happening.
And at that time, when you made some comment to the police about a statement you thought you overheard from Tony about the jail, they basically pretty much turned all this matter over to the GBI to do an independent investigation. Isn't that right?
That's right.
And it was in the context of them interviewing you about what happened with Clarence, as well as your husband, as well as that statement that basically they interviewed you. Isn't that correct?
That was mentioned.
That's
But
right.
it wasn't really the reason.
And in the process of all that, didn't you also make an allegation at the same time that Tony and your husband, as well as Judge Locke Stevens, had perjured themselves? Did you say that?
Yes, sir, I said it.
Judge Stevens perjured himself at some sort of hearing. Did you say that?
Said it.
You did all that when you were mad at your husband about all this. Isn't that correct?
I did, but it was the truth.
And again, prior to 2011, you never even heard the name of Jamie Hood until after he shot Tony. Isn't that right?
That's right.
So, if in fact you heard some sort of a statement by Tony to his dad at some point about jacking people up at the jail, it didn't involve Jamie Hood, according to your memory. Isn't that correct?
He never specifically said Jamie Hood.
That's right.
Ms. Howard,
Yes.
you stated that you called the police up there by shop. Correct, ma'am? I mean, that's true.
Yes.
Okay. Now, how did Jamie Hood's name become relevant during that phone call?
When I was talking to the officer, after the officers arrived, Tony came, and that upset me because I told the officer that Tony shouldn't be there. That would be a conflict of interest, you know, with that being his daddy. And I was just upset. That's when I said that I believed you.
Just answer this question.
Okay.
You know, with all respect, if he's talking about why the police is up there, why can't I come back and put him on? He owned the door.
Stop.
He the one went into it. It wasn't me. He the one brought up the shop, the daddy, the news, and all this stuff. That's why I was getting at. So I'm asking questions pertaining to what he said. You told me don't listen. That's why, and I got off of that. He the one just brought up Law Steve and them, so I have a question. I have a right to get into it if you open that door up now, Judge.
3 things that I ruled on, none of that involved allegations of perjury testimony.
But what I'm not denying that. But my thing is, if he asked for a question on any issue, I need to ask her a question on the same thing that he said. So I never heard one time that he could ask questions, and I can't come around and ask the same question to find out the truth is about it. He didn't want to open up the door one day.
I'm not saying you just asked a question that she did not know, had no way of knowing what areas were not going to be admissible. And it makes it difficult. I
it's too late for her to instruct you when you let him just got in. You told him, hey, look, we ain't gonna talk about law procedure.
No, I did
You
not.
did, well, you know, I stand correct. But you told me only talk about, hey, the jacked up part. That correct? That's what you told me now. You said only talk about this part, don't talk about that.
I'm gonna say it again, what I ruled on.
Okay.
All right. First of all, there will not be any evidence of the alleged incident in 1991 or so between witness and John Howard. Nothing about that. Also, there will not be any evidence presented from this witness regarding the needed to see conversation with Clarence Howard and Tony Howard. And the third thing is, there will be no opinion testimony on the witness regarding alleged cause of Buddy Christian's shooting. That was the only that were the three things I said.
Okay. Stand corrected. But when I got ready to talk about what she called the police up to the thing, what they said about Jack Hood, he objected and you sustained.
The reason I sent the jury out was because of what I believe the witness was about to start testifying about.
But what I'm trying to figure out, Judge, I understand you, but how can you overrule objection to me saying something and it wasn't part of the three things? I was gonna ask why did the police come up there?
There could be all sorts of other objections, and it's not like everything else comes in necessarily. So,
I just say I was on three and I was just trying to fall behind him, that's it. That's why I said mine was short.
and that's why I think the witness would have no way of knowing that she was not to volunteer that information in those areas. You understand that? So,
Well, before I get into it, Judge, so when I send him back out, I was just gonna ask him, I'm checking off and ask him about it. When you come up there, did you say anything to officer about Jamie Hood in Fox 5? That's my business.
that's okay.
Okay, well, I thought there was something wrong with it.
Well, it depends on what it would be, but offering an opinion, or offering my belief this, that kind of stuff is one thing, but in regard to, did you say something about being good at Fox 5, that specific question, there should not be objection, but if he goes in and starts talking about, yeah, in my opinion, this is what happened, or my belief is this kind of shit. That's the problem that was, that I certainly.
That's why I sent them out. The question itself is not objection. I need to let you know your answers. All right, everybody clear? Good. So you can come back in.
Why did you call the police?
My husband and I got into a scuffle, and he got on the phone to call the police, and because scuffle, he scratched me and ripped my shirt. We were out of control, and I called the police too.
You said that you saw Officer Howard come up to the shop. What happened when he come up to the shop?
I've seen him come to the shop many times, but
Do you recall talking to an officer about Tony and Jamie and Fox 5?
could you repeat that?
Do you recall talking to an officer at the shop that day about Tony and Jamie and Fox 5?
Yes.
Would you tell us about that?
spoke my opinion about what I was thinking.
Did the situation with your husband have any bearings on you talking about Jamie Hood and Tony Howard and Fox 5?
No. No.
So, you made that statement about Fox 5, Jamie Hood, and Tony Howard off on your own free will. Did you make that statement on your own free will about Jamie Hood and Tony Howard and Fox 5?
Yes.
What did the officer say about that? Do you know the officer recorded that conversation with you?
I later found out.
What did you find out about their recording?
The GBI contacted me and told me that it was recorded. That's what I said.
Did the GBI mention Jamie Hood when they contacted you about their recording?
When they contacted me, they just said they wanted to talk to me about the incident and about that date.
Did the GBI ever mention anything about Jamie Hood to you before they interviewed you on what?
You just answered that question.
Did the GBI ever mention anything about Jamie Hood to you before May 31st, 2013, the interview?
I spoke to, I forgot who it was, over the phone, and they just wanted to meet with me.
When you met with them, ma'am, did they mention Jamie Hood at all?
Yes.
Before they interviewed you with the camera, was it interviewed and recorded, ma'am? Was it recorded?
Yes.
And during that interview that was recorded on May 31st, 2013, there was talk about Jamie Hood. Did that happen?
With the GBI?
Yes, ma'am.
No. I didn't talk to them. We just set up a date for me to come to their office in Thompson and talk to them.
So, is it possible that you talked about Jamie Hood and you forgot about it?
To the GBI?
Yes, ma'am.
Over the phone?
No, I mean, not over the phone, in the interview. The live
Oh,
interview.
yes. Yes, we talked about Jamie Hood.
How did Jamie Hood name come up in the GBI in this interview?
That call for a narrative, maybe. Yes.
I have been giving that a lot of thought. I can't remember how it even started out, but your name was brought up, and it was I was questioned about what I had said that day.
What did you say that day, Sean? To make them question you? So, but they did talk to you based on what you said in the shop that day?
Yes.
Do you know who had the GBI get in touch with you, man?
No, I do not.
Do you know the officer who recorded your phone conversation that day? Do you know if he had anything to do with that?
Obviously, he did. Talk to anyone else.
So based on what you told the officer, that would make the GBI come in contact with you. Do you think what the officer recorded is what made the GBI come in contact with you?
Yes.
Did anybody threaten you in any way to talk about Jamie Wood that day?
No.
impose a penalty. Please raise your right hand, sir. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give to the court and the jury on the matter currently pending before the court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. Would you tell the court and the jury your name for the record, please, sir?
Joseph H. Lumpkin, Sr.
Where are you employed, sir?
Savannah Channel Metropolitan Police Department, Police Chief.
How long you been employed with the Savannah Channel Police Department, sir?
Since November the 10th, 2014.
Were you employed before you took the job? Where were you employed before you took the job in Savannah, sir?
Athens County Police Department, Police Chief.
Okay. How long was you employed with Athens County Police, sir?
Approximately 40 years plus.
Sorry. I missed that. How long were you employed?
40 years plus.
How long was you the chief of the Athens County Police Department?
17 years plus, nearly 18.
When did you start for the Athens County?
January 13th, 1997. Named in November 1996.
Sir? Maybe.
Named.
I'm sorry, so I missed something. You said named?
Yes, they named me in 96. I was sworn in January 13th, 1997.
Okay, and what time did you stop? What day did you stop, sir?
Went off the payroll in January sometime. I became chief of Savannah November 10th.
So he was officially off the payroll what day?
I don't know. Sometime in January 2015.
Why did you take the job with Savannah Chapel Police Department before the case come to trial?
Because I retired, I qualified for retirement approximately 7 years plus ago, and I was forfeiting significant money for 7 years. I found another job, and I collect my retirement and continue to work.
Well, you the police chief on March 22nd, 2011, the case occurred, so the police unit said it occurred.
I was the police chief in March of 2011.
Okay. Why didn't you stay on the case if this case was open?
It's argumentative, Judge.
Did you have any skeletons in your closet that you want to be brought to the light?
No. No basis. Yes, sir. It's no basis. But I object.
Were you the police chief when my brother Timothy, who was shot and killed, when I had fucked
Your Honor,
that?
I would object and have to take up a matter outside the presence of the jury and other things. I would object. Jury goes. I would object to him asking that question. Further to go into anything about that incident involving Jimmy Bowen and Hood, the matter that he chooses to do that, there is no basis for him to start why I object.
There's no bad intent. There's no bad intent. You know, I done told the jury, they heard it on the recording, you know, when I turned myself in, I heard my brother's voice. You know, the jury, how did they know my brother did? He was the police chief when it happened. I'm not finna just get until he wasn't there, I'm not gonna get it in his saying. I mean, this will confirm, hey, when his brother was killed for real, just good they lied to him. And the question I'm asking him is a relevant question. If he don't know what I'm gonna say, how can he object to it? And if I get out of line, I'm pretty sure the court will direct me to get back in.
There's nothing relevant about this witness regarding Timothy Hood. There are other ways, and there may be other witnesses or something else that may offer an opportunity. But I don't know, unless you tell me something else, and I'll hear from you now, that makes this witness relevant in that subject.
It's relevant because he was cool, he was kid, he was police chief. That's why I said, look, I don't got to call him on. I get Mr. Walker to do it. So he's relevant. I'm not going into the actual shooting what the autopsy or nothing else. He's a police chief, he knew about it. He know about this audio and video that they never showed on the family. I just sit here and told the jury this and all.
Those questions,
Yeah,
is that right?
yeah, the audio and video.
Right, that's not.
Yes, yeah, look, okay, let me just say for the record why. You see why Jacob Lyons, hey, get me the news camera over here. We got the prosecutor, chief of police, to kill my brother. They won't even let the family see audio and video. We see why he's trying to call the news because they finna do something they ain't got no way to do it. And as far as, hey, what the video in and all that right there, I ain't asking for that. I just sit here and told this jury this in the opening, and it's clearly relevant. Hey, maybe they had to show that audio and video that man want heard, don't let them leave like they done me. See, that's what I'm trying to tell people. It's all about why. And this part of the why. You got them killing folks and hiding, doing stuff they ain't got nothing to do with. The man running out of fear, he's shooting and killing the innocent man because people like this here. I understand your
Questions regarding Timothy Hood, this witness.
Well, can I just ask, hey, was Timothy Hood shot and killed by Athens police while you chief police listening? Let him confirm that. I won't get it to the camera.
Judge, absolutely. I've heard him talk about this, but he's not talking about, obviously, going into all those facts, if that's what needs to go into, and that's what you're trying to avoid going into. But going to the facts where Timothy Hood had a gun and put it to the officer's head and said, I'm going to effing look kill you, and basically decided to do that. All that kind of stuff where the officer was basically fighting for his life and that all happened. He starts talking about all this stuff and wants to do that for the media and say all this stuff in front of everybody and all that. But that's not what this case is about. It's not about it. It's not about him coming in here making accusations about this and that and doing it. That's not at all relevant to this witness at all. And that's why I objected, because I didn't want him starting to go into and off on that tangent with this particular witness here. And that's not what it's about. You're calling his mother. Didn't your brother die at this, or whatever it is? That is not going to be relevant in this, in all of this part of the case. Or in any part, but particularly this one.
You know, if he feels so strong about it, why don't they show this video when you see this in 2001? They tell the deal, you see it, let's show it right here about
He ought to be addressing the court, not the camera.
Okay, I'm not addressing the camera.
Okay, we're finished discussing. Okay. My ruling is there will be no questions regarding.
You know, how about this?
No, sir, that's it. Not how about anything. That's it. Nothing regarding Timothy Hood.
What witness can I get the camera in there? Can I call for mama in? Can I get something?
I'm not addressing that until it comes up.
Well, I would ask
I
for
can't see where that becomes relevant in any part.
Let me show you. Come on, let me show you.
Mr. Hood,
Can I just show you?
right now, I'm dealing with one case at a time.
Well, can I put my mama back on the witness list and call buddy?
Mr. Hood, I'm not taking up anything else except this witness at this time and what we're doing about this.
All right.
Okay. Everybody clear?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't like it, but I'm clear.
See if they're ready to come back to the room. Sure, Mr. Lord,
investigation that took place regarding Officer Tony Howard, Officer Christian?
Yes, I did.
What's your duty as police chief of the Athens County Police Department to thoroughly investigate the events of that investigation, sir?
My duty was to lead and manage the investigation.
Tell us how you led and managed the investigation.
I asked for state and federal resources to help us investigate the crimes that had occurred. The GBI became the lead agency, which is typical when our officers are involved in an officer-involved shooting where our officers are shot or we have to use force. In this instance, our officers were shot. We typically want a federal and state agency to be the investigators.
You do your own investigation as a police chief.
It does not prevent its best practice nationally to not investigate such.
What did you do while you was on the scene, sir?
I viewed the scene. I viewed City Police Officer Buddy Christian in the vehicle, deceased. I got it on the telephone with the director of the GBI and asked for his support. His agents were there and I asked for additional. I had talked with the U.S. Marshal Services and asked for their support. I talked with the FBI in Atlanta and asked for their support. I could have talked with others. I remember those three specifically. I don't remember others.
Did you do an investigation on Officer Tony Howard? What was your, did you do any type of investigation on what happened as far as the police shooting incident on him?
I visited with Senior Police Officer Tony Howard at the Athens Regional Medical Center in the emergency room before he went into surgery. I did not do any investigation.
When you was on Sycamore Drive, looked at the police car, did you notice anything about both officer cars when you was over there doing your investigation, when you was over there looking surgery?
I don't understand the question. Notice anything?
Like, for instance, when the car was parked, was everything done by protocol? Did you look into that there?
I don't have a specific memory of seeing Senior Police Officer Tony Howard's car. I don't recall going to that car. I do recall Tony Howard was actually at the hospital before I arrived. I started to the Sycamore Drive, found out that Senior Officer Buddy Christian was deceased and that Howard had been transported. I turned and went to the Athens Regional Medical Center, which I had actually just left on an administrative meeting and met with Senior Police Officer Tony Howard while he was on the stretcher there in the emergency room.
Did you do any type of investigation of what made up trigger this police shooting incident? Did you want to find out what happened, what caused it?
As the police chief of the 300-person agency, I don't do the investigation. I have people to do the investigations.
Well, if you don't do an investigation, why did you go to Sycamore Drive to look if you don't do no investigation?
From a leadership and management perspective, I directed resources there. I led my troops there, my staff members who were there on the scene, and the command center was there. There's some leadership and management issues that have to be addressed with the people, the police officers, the civilians, the citizens. The basic investigations of the police chief does not do those.
Well, from a leadership and management position, do you allow your officer, do you teach them to do the right thing? Do you teach them to follow protocol? Do you do that?
We teach our officers to be ethical and transparent, to follow the protocol.
Do you think protocol put in place to keep officers safe and citizens safe, sir?
Yes, we have protocols and processes and procedures to keep officers safe and citizens safe.
If an officer violates the protocol, how do you handle this as a police chief?
An officer does not follow protocol, first question is why. And could the protocol have been followed in that particular circumstance? What were the specifics and particulars? There's no pat answer.
Excuse me, so I missed it. The last part of the answer, you said ain't no what?
There's no pat answers. There's no exact thing you do. If A occurs, B would occur. No, you take the specific circumstances and determine what occurred.
Well, why do you have protocols set in place in the first place then?
To keep people safe, to have processes and procedures to follow.
Could you tell us what the Athens County Police Department protocol was pertaining to a high-risk traffic stop, felony stop?
I can read it. I can't tell you what it is verbatim from my head.
How can you be the police chief and you can't tell us what's going on in the police department?
That's not what I said. I said I can read it. I can't tell you. Our written process is of thousands of pages. The question is, how should you stop? Is whether you're stopping for a felony or you're stopping for a suspicious person. What type of stop are you making?
I was talking, well, how about a felony traffic stop? Could you tell us about a felony traffic stop, the protocol and procedure pertaining to a felony traffic stop?
If you have a felony traffic stop, first you have to have probable cause to make a felony traffic stop. You have to have the belief, the knowledge that a person has violated a felony to make that stop in the matter. If that's the case, then you would park the vehicle in a certain manner, either to the left or to the right, depending upon how many people are in the vehicle or how many police officers in there. You would come out with a long weapon, a rifle, shotgun, etc. If you're so equipped, you would maintain cover behind your vehicle. You would order the driver to drop the keys out of the vehicle. You would have that. You would maintain, if you were by yourself, you would maintain that position of cover until support officers, backup officers arrive. All right, that's a search warrant. The person would be taken out, typically walking backwards, with the hands above their head, brought back from the car, placed on the ground and handcuffed at gunpoint.
Do officers supposed to call central communication when they pull a felony suspect over? Do the officer call central communication or do they call for backup service?
Depending if they know if they want to make a felony traffic stop, they will radio that. Typically, you will not want to make a felony traffic stop in a manner with additional officers, yes, but you would notify them if you're making a felony traffic stop. Again, that's if the time process allows it. If the car pulls over immediately, you may not get a chance to pull them out. Initially, you have to develop the probable cause.
How about that audio and video camera? How do you that audio and video camera work pertaining to a felony traffic stop, sir?
If the car is equipped, most of our cars are not equipped with video cameras. If the car is equipped, typically the camera will be activated upon if you turn your blue lights on. But most cars in Athens, Clark County Police Department, we had over 200 cars. Our cars were not equipped with video cameras for the most part.
Can also manually cut that on, sir? Can they manually cut it on without the light by themselves, sir?
I was supposed to, I've never done it.
You the chief of police, or you were the chief of police?
Yes.
How could the chief of police not know procedure of the camera, how it works now?
That's not the chief of police's job to work a video camera.
Is it the job of the police, the chief of police, to know what's going on? So if somebody needs some guidance and assistance, The chief of police can help?
In a police department, 300 people, you have subject matter experts that take care of cameras.
Are you telling us, as a police chief, you didn't know all the rules and procedures, how you called and all that work? That's what you telling us that?
That's not what I said.
Well, what you saying then?
What I said is I have subject matter experts that take care of the cameras.
I thought you just said you don't know.
This is, he's leading witnesses, it's his witnesses, so ask questions, they're not leading.
Okay. Why did you just state that you might not know about camera? Why did you say that?
No, I said I have never manually turned the camera on.
Do you feel like that make you incompetent as a police chief? You don't know how your own camera stuff operates?
No, I do not. I said I have never manually turned the camera on.
Do you think so? If an officer wanted to come to you for help or how to work the camera, they couldn't get it? That's what you tell them.
I would get my subject matter expert to actually show the people how the camera works.
What if you didn't have access to your expert at the time? How would you teach your officer to work something that come to you for help? You teach.
Typically, there would be more than one model of cameras in the field if you had 20 or 30 cameras. It's not very difficult. What I said, I have never turned it on. I've had cameras when I was a lieutenant, and I worked the cameras. I do not do that as a police chief.
Well, how do you make police chief? You don't know all that protocol of the camera. How do you make police chief?
That's argument, you know,
Sir, did you do a revision on the Athens County Police Department highway traffic stop on June 15, 2012? Did you revise that?
I don't recall if I did or not.
You know, I like to get this evidence. I might be mistaken here. Yeah, I just didn't see this. 29, would it be exhibit 29? This is 30.
The title is Traffic Stops, effective revision date June 15, 2012. Uniform Division Traffic Law Enforcement. And it's directive numbers B1/20/3. Approved by Joseph H. Lumpkin, Senior Chief.
Okay. Your Honor, I would like Mr. Long to look at the exhibit 31, please, sir.
Yes.
Could you explain what's in exhibit 31, please, sir?
Exhibit 31 is redirected manual operations, titled felony traffic stops, effective revision date June 15, 2012, directive number B1/20/5, section Uniform Division, Traffic Law Enforcement, approved by Chief Joseph H. Lincoln Sr.
Okay, is that a fair, is exhibit 3031 a fair presentation of what you, that have your name on and what you know, that you know them to be, sir?
It's what I recall,
Your Honor, I would like the tenant to help us defend exhibit 30 and 31, please, Your Honor.
Even though that was June of 2012. It's 11. All right.
Mr. Martin, I would like for you to look at this, defend exhibit 31, please, sir.
no, I can see it.
Okay. Could you explain to the jury what you see here on the defendant? Exhibit 31, please, sir.
It's the policy, traffic stops, felony traffic stops.
Did you read it out? A.D. could read the whole thing to us, please, sir.
I think that speaks for itself, Judge.
Okay. Okay. June 15, 2012, approved by Joseph A. Martin. Can you please tell us what that means?
It means that there was some change made on June 15, 2012.
Could you tell us what that change was?
No, but the accreditation office that has those policies can show you what the change was. They can actually show you what existed prior to.
Mr. Martin, I'd like you to look at defendant exhibit 32. This is page 1 or 2. This is 2. It goes just like this. I had it on it like this, but I didn't have a statement. You want to put exhibit 31 up on this one too? Okay.
Yes.
What is that?
Felony traffic stops, B1/20, page 1 of 2. Appears to be from operational manual, it does not say that.
What, you said it appears to be from the operational manual. What is the operational manual?
Manual is the guidance that police officers have in operations of field officers, patrol officers, detectives, the people who are actually working in the street.
Do you recognize what you see in the defendant's Exhibit 32?
The standards manual checks, it appears to be from the Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies, copyrighted in 2008. Standard, chapter 61, traffic section, traffic enforcement standard, stopping and approaching, and the standard number is 61.1.7.
Do you recognize that, sir?
Yes, it appears to be the CALEA standard.
Is a very accurate presentation of good standard as you know it?
Yes.
I would like to move to turn the evidence defendant, Exhibit 32, please, sir.
Yes, I think there's two different documents. I think there's something that has to do with the standard for CALEA, and then there's another 2-page document. There's something he talked about operational manual. I don't think relates to CALEA. I may be wrong, but I think it's two different documents there. I don't think he's made that clear. Where the operational manual may have come from, was it related at all to the police department or not, and whether or not the operational manual, which I think is probably the other last pages, would be hard to put together.
This is 3 pages.
Yeah, and what it is, Judge is saying, it's that same thing. This is the revised version. Ask the Clark County Police Department, that's what it comes from.
Not like Jackson did it.
What I'm trying to,
3 pages, that's all.
yeah, it's 3 pages, but it's the same thing. You know, the level's bigger on 1 page, but it comes from the same thing. I don't have a stapler. If I have a stapler, I can put it in.
I think objections related to foundation, and I don't know, I haven't seen them, so
If we let you see both of them.
well, I think you need to ask another question, perhaps,
He simply asked if you have the chief clarify the first page versus the other 2 pages. I think they're two different things, and he hasn't done that.
Mr. Long, is Exhibit 31 and Exhibit 32 saying the same identical things?
No.
What's the difference?
What I see marked as Exhibit 32 is the standards manual from CALEA, Commission on Accreditation.
How about
I
say,
handed with 2 other sheets that look very similar to the other exhibit, the first exhibit, or the second exhibit, I believe, that you gave.
I stand corrected, Your Honor. So the second 2 pages is all together, isn't that what you see, it go together? And there is describing the felony traffic stop, that's the heading of it. But when you read Exhibit 31, the second 2 pages, Exhibit 32, it's the same identical as Exhibit 31.
These 2, they look very similar. I haven't compared word for word, but they look, and they are B1/20. So it suggests that they are from the same part of the operations manual. This is different.
Yeah, I do understand. Well, could I have you look at this Exhibit 31 here, and you can see what the word is on it, the exact same, please, sir?
If I'm going to say exact, I have to compare it word for word.
Yes, sir.
Judge, Margaret's second 2 pages is 33.
Well, I can do that. I just thought it was all the same thing. I didn't have the one, but you want me to do it on out of state, or if it would be just,
Okay, no house state, so do the same 2 pages, 33, that's fine. I haven't seen anything yet, so I don't know what that is.
if we just see it first.